guys, so I kind of wanted to do a fun bridal series after doing my bridal hair tutorial that I uploaded last week. It was a really fun kind of themed video to do, and I personally love doing bridal makeup. So I figured I would do a series that kind of showed you how to do natural bride, a bride that's a little bit more trendy, and then a bride that just wants the glam from head to toe. So in today's video, you'll learn how to do this look, which is the more natural bride, and using an array of products, both drugstore and luxury. So it kind of also fits into the budget for many different women and many different brides. So let's get started. I'm going to start out with a mattifying photo finish primer, and the reason I'm using a mattifier within my primer is because I don't want the face to get shiny at all, especially with the amount of photos and videos that would be taken in this kind of event. And I'm focusing this just in the T-zone. I'm not really going to put it anywhere near my cheeks, just because, especially with the use of a powder blush, I'm really not going to need it to be any more matte than it is in that area for my skin. So for foundation, I'm going to be using this new Maybelline Fit Me Powder Finish Foundation in the shade 120. And I've used this a couple times before, and it's really cool because on the surrounding area, it's kind of like a cream-based foundation, and in the middle, it's supposed to be a powder-based foundation. So it leaves the skin with a really nice matte powdery finish. You don't need that much powder after, and especially on a wedding day, you don't want to be shiny, exactly why I use the mattifying primer. So I'm going to start by applying this on my forehead, just swiping it across, down my nose, and down the sides onto my cheeks, on my chin. And I'm also going to give myself a little bit of coverage underneath the eye. And to blend it all in, I'm going to be using a duo fiber stippling brush, and I'm going to start underneath the eye and just blend this outward and down. You never want to use a brush like this and go in an upward motion, just because you do have some facial hair on your face and you want it to always go in the direction of that hair and really blend it out. So it's always going to be out and down. For concealer, I'm going to be using this Revlon Photoready concealer, and this is in the shade 002, and it's a cream-based concealer that's also going to help with any kind of flashing bulb lights for photos and videos and things like that. So I'm going to do some under eye, and then any spots that I see that I don't want to see anymore. And I'm going to use my ring finger to blend it all out, and I'm just going to kind of pat So next, I'm going to make sure that those under eye circles completely disappear, and I'm also going to use an illuminating concealer. So I'm using this one. It's also from Maybelline. It's called the DreamLumi Touch, and in the shade Ivory. And I'm just going to place this underneath the eyes and drag it down and out. And this is just going to kind of help highlight that area, and it'll also begin to highlight that upper cheekbone as well. So to rub this product in, I love using the Beauty Blender, but if you don't have one, you can just use your ring finger and kind of just lightly dab it on. I'm just going to circle this and kind of just round it off, if that makes sense. You're just pressing down on the skin lightly while moving this in a kind of just like you're patting it on and patting it off sort of thing. Okay, so I'm also going to use that DreamLumi highlighter concealer, and I'm just going to put a touch near my lips, just on the Cupid's bow, and a little on my chin. And for this, I'm just going to use my ring finger and pat it and blend it out. Okay, so next is powder. I'm just going to be using a translucent powder, and instead of doing something all over the face using what I would normally use, like a big fluffy brush, I'm actually going to use an eyeshadow blending brush. And for that reason is because the foundation that we used is kind of a powder base along with a cream base, and I don't want to dry out the skin or make it flaky or make it look cakey, which can sometimes happen. So I'm going to use an eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to dip it into the powder, and I'm going to concentrate on the most oily parts of my face. So for my skin, it's going to be on the sides of my nose, and then on the bridge of my nose as well. And then I'm also going to take it up into my T-zone. And then I'm also going to set the concealer under the eye, and I'm just going to dab some powder underneath there as well. So next I'm going to use a really nice warm bronzer just to add a little bit of color and life to my complexion. I'm very pale and light skinned, and I'm going to put the product on that big fluffy brush, and I'm taking most of it off. So this is what I'm taking it into, and then I just flick it most of it off. I don't want to look orange. And I'm just going to start on my cheeks and go up into the temples, and then blend it into the halo of the forehead. Next for blush, I'm going to use one of my favorite blushes for bridal is a MAC Mineralize blush, Dainty. So this color is just gorgeous on a lot of different skin tones, and it stays all day. So I'm just going to use a normal blush brush and find the apples of my cheeks and blend up and in circles. Okay, so now the face looks a little bit full, a little vibrant, and for brows, I'm just going to comb them up. This is just a throwaway mascara spoolie. Comb them in an upward direction. Then using a wet angled liner brush, I'm going to dip in between two colors, and one is blonde and one is taupe, and start to fill in my brows. I always start at the beginning in very light strokes. And this is more of a natural look, so I'm going just with the shape of my normal brow. I'm not going to try to build it up or create a shape that isn't already there. Next, I'm just going to use an eyeshadow primer and put it all along the lids and also up to the brow bone. So for the eyes, I don't want to do anything too dramatic. We're keeping it natural and light. So I'm really only going to focus on highlighting the lid and adding a little bit of definition into the crease. And so I'm going to use a cream-based shadow all over the lid and just up into the crease just a bit. I'm going to take it on my ring finger and tap it onto the lid and going all the way into the crease and just dabbing a dot on the inner corner as well. And grab just a tad more and tap that into the crease. So to define my crease, I'm going to take an eyeshadow that is a few shades darker than my skin tone and just get it on a really nice crease dome brush. Go ahead and starting in the middle, start to blend it inward and outward, just on that crease line. And once you have a good amount of product built up, go ahead and open your eye and start to take it just above that crease line onto the brow bone. Just a touch, just to add definition when your eyes are both open and closed. Next, I'm going to take a smudgy brush and get just kind of the same colored eyeshadow, but just this has a little bit of shimmer in it. And I'm going to lightly take just a bit of the product and just swipe it back and forth in between that crease. And this will just add a little bit of shimmer. For the upper and lower lash lines, I don't want to do a harsh liquid liner or anything of that sort, just to kind of keep things a little bit smoky, more natural. Use that same damp eyebrow brush, and I'm going to use a dark brown eyeshadow, and I'm going to get a bit on the brush, and starting with my lower lash line, I'm just going to drag that product starting from the outside all the way to the inner corner. And for the upper lash line, I'm going to close my eye and just tug it ever so slightly and very closely line the upper lashes. For mascara, I'm going to use this great volumizing mascara by Mally, and it is one that kind of gives your lashes more of a natural look than a fake spidery lash or very, very long lash look. So it's great because it really just enhances what they naturally are without giving away the kind of fake lash look. I'm going to use a bit of a lighter hand for the lower lash line as well. So I'm just going to kind of swipe it across the lashes just to give them a touch of color. For lips, I'm just going to enhance my natural color of my lip, which is kind of a darker pinky berry color. And I'm going to line the outline shape. And then I'm just going to take a lipstick to them, and this one just matches the lip liner pretty closely. There's not much difference. And just to give a little bit of a nice glossy sheen, I'm going to take a similar color gloss, and I'm going to wipe most of it off on my hand, and then I'm going to take my lip brush and just dot a little bit of that onto the brush and swipe it onto the lips. So this is the finished look. I hope you guys really enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye everyone!